Hey guys, welcome back to Philly Sports Podcast, episode 25. Deshaun Shady McCoy. I don't
Yep.
know why I threw an L in there, but you know what? We did, and
Yep.
we ran with it.
Yeah.
Brendan, how would you like to start us off?
With the Phillies, just like every week. Rob Thompson officially announced that Wheeler is the Phillies opening day starter this year.
You took my one and only Phillies thing. Thank you.
Sorry.
There's not much to talk about.
Yeah, not much has happened.
It's spring.
Jimmy Rollins is going to be inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame on August 1st.
Ooh.
That could be a cool thing to attend.
Yeah. This Philly segment's probably not going to be long.
Nope, there is literally nothing to talk about. So if you're good with it, I'm going to bring us into the Eagles with this next one.
Bring us into the Eagles because,
So, in his first at-bat today, Nick Castellanos hit a home run right after Brandon Graham retired.
He's the man of doing bad things. Hitting when bad things happen, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Brandon Graham has been there since I started watching the Eagles, basically. When we were little, you got me the Brandon Graham signed picture. It's
an end
weird
of an era.
to see him go.
No Fletcher, no Kelsey, no
Nope.
Graham.
So Lane Johnson is the last starter from Super Bowl 52 that's still on the team. Jake Elliott is still there. Is he's special teams. But those are the only two that are still around.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's an end of an era.
Not much Eagles stuff has happened either. Some small signings here and there.
Drafts in about, what, 10? No, a month?
Yeah.
It's at the end of April, not the end of August.
I don't remember the last signing we talked about. I think we talked about the Josh Uche signing, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, well. His best season was back in 2022 when he had almost 12 sacks. I don't dislike it. He's from Michigan, so I kind of have to like it.
Of course you
got Harrison Bryant, tight end from the Browns. Adoree Jackson, whichever way you say it.
Jackson.
Yeah. I liked him. Not like, oh, he's going to be a great cornerback, but I think he's good for a competition signing, basically. I do actually really like the signing, though. We got a new long snapper since Rick Lovato era is over. Kyle Granson, another tight end that we signed. Avery Williams. That was an interesting signing. Let me see if I have that saved or not. Yes, I do. Avery Williams. In 2021, he played 122 defensive snaps as a rookie, including 96 snaps at slot cornerback. He was utilized as a pass rusher on 6 snaps, generating 5 total pressures. In 2022, Williams made the switch from cornerback to running back and played 141 offensive snaps. He had 22 carries for 109 yards, including 52 yards after contact. Williams forced 4 missed tackles and had 4 runs of 10 or more yards. He then missed the entire next season, 2023, after tearing his ACL in OTAs. And he returned last year in 2024, and the Falcons utilized him as their primary return specialist. Williams had 15 kick returns for 408 yards, 27.2 yards per return, and 20 punt returns for 184 yards, which was 9.2 yards per return. And he hasn't had a single muffed return in 161 total returns, including fair catches. So, basically showing they value Cooper DeJean a lot more now, and he will not be our return man next year. That's basically what I said all that
I was gonna say it sounds like a dead end, not dead end, but like give a chance guy to you're mostly going to be punt returner, kick returner, that stuff,
and we also don't have Gainwell now, who was out there for a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
Another one, edge Patrick Johnson. he didn't make our 53-man roster out of camp last year, and he was claimed by the Giants. And he's back, so not guaranteeing he'll be back on the roster next year or this coming season. And we also got another Giant, Aziz Ojulari.
Say that name 5 times fast.
Yeah, I'm good. Apparently, he's had quite a few injuries in his career, but he is productive when he's on the field, and he's still only 24 years old. I think he went to Georgia.
Why does it feel like a bunch of guys we got have had long injuries and
right? Yep,
stuff like
he
that?
Went to Georgia, so that's yet another Georgia defensive player on our team.
With the Philadelphia Dogs.
Yeah. Philadelphia Bulldogs. Just make it easy on yourself.
Bull goals. Philadelphia Bull Goals.
I don't know. The only other thing I can think of that we've done is re-sign Lane Johnson to an extension. He's now signed through the 2026 season. Well, he was signed through 2026. He's now signed through 2027. Sorry.
Yeah. Again, we've been saying for past 2 weeks now, let Howie cook.
Yep.
He's going to do something big. The draft is about a month away. You see all these other teams doing all these kinds of moves and extensions and taking away this and that and stuff like that. Getting the positions. It seems like the quarterback and wide receiver class this year is pretty weak.
Yeah.
Could I see a Dotson being traded for a pick? Yes. Could I see? I don't know. Could I see? We saw it already. We saw the Browns went after Kenny Pickett, our backup quarterback.
Right.
That kind of stuff is I could see being done. Usually at this time, what the first 5 teams are going to do.
You got no idea what the
You
number
have no
one
idea because
overall pick's
everyone's
going to be.
Yeah. You don't know if Duke Carter's going to be first. And it's weird to say that because the first overall pick team has not done anything yet.
Yeah.
This offseason.
Yeah.
I
think they signed a running back. I don't.
Well, sorry, they haven't done anything big.
Right. No. I was just trying to think of stuff that they've done. I knew what you meant, that they haven't done anything meaningful per se.
Yeah. Meaningful towards that first pick where it would shake the pick up.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I don't know why, but it reminded me of Ja'Marr Chase's extension.
Mm-hmm.
We are paying A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith $100 million less than they're paying Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins.
They locked them up.
Yeah.
They locked them up. I think I don't think I want to say that. I was going to say it seems more like Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are both kind of guys that they don't care about the money.
Yep.
It seems like
win.
rather than they go to.
And then look at Myles Garrett.
Yeah. I don't know. It never really seemed like A.J. Brown was like, oh, thank God I'm out of Tennessee.
Kind
of. Didn't they just go to the playoffs the year before? Weren't they the number 1 seed the year before he got traded?
Yeah, they were a high seed.
So it wasn't like a Browns team that made the playoffs once.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
In the past 50 years. Actually, I don't even think they've made it once in the past 50 years. But I don't know. Some guys, I guess, just want to play for more money. Some guys just want to play for less money.
Yeah. People also care about quarterbacks they want to play with. Like, obviously, Jamar wants to play with Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But you would think if you want to play with someone, you would take a little less money just to play with them.
Also, it came out a couple years ago that, was it last year, year before maybe? Jamar wanted to play with Burrow and Justin,
Yeah.
but now you're taking a crap ton of money, so that can't happen. I don't know. At some point in the next month, we'll get closer and closer to how he's going to do. Some point we will throw some Eagles mock drafts up.
But yeah.
Put them somewhere up in the video, and we'll explain them. Obviously,
Yeah. Probably post them on like Twitter and stuff as well.
Yeah. At this point, I don't even know what they can do.
I don't know.
Travis Etienne is apparently going to be a 4th-round pick to some people, so, and he wouldn't be an awful third back,
Right.
or even AJ Dillon if you put him as a third back and literally play him on third downs.
Yeah. We also have Will Shipley still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seems like it's going to be more of a defensive.
Yep, I agree.
Draft,
but
and
that's
why
I'm expecting them to draft a tight end unless they make a trade for a good tight end.
Yeah. Again, I just see it now that most teams are it's gonna be a mostly defensive draft, and it's why Howie didn't bring back a lot of the guys that everyone was like, oh, why didn't we bring back almost an exact defense this year? Well,
money.
You've got money that falls into play. You've got good defensive guys in that is in play. That basically, when you're young, you're cheaper, so they can flip them.
Right.
When they get bigger and wanting more money. So other than that, I don't. Other than Graham, I don't think there's much to really talk about in the sense of
there's nothing really.
Eagles.
Nope, we really got nothing.
It's a pretty slow week in Philly.
Yep. Really quick before we move on to Flyers or Sixers, just something random question for you. Did you hear Backyard Sports is coming to mobile?
Really?
Yeah.
I did think I knew that they were trying to bring it to mobile.
And it's going to have no ads, apparently.
Ooh.
Yeah. I thought you would enjoy it.
I love Backyard.
Because I remember playing it with you.
Yeah. On the DS.
Yep.
Backyard hockey, backyard baseball. I grinded those two out. Day in and day out. I'll be on that game all the time.
I feel like it's going to be just like Retro Ball was.
Yeah, probably.
But you weren't in school for that. Because that was my senior year that it was really popular.
Yeah, but I was...
People are still playing it, so it's not like it's unpopular now.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go on to the Flyers or the Sixers?
Let me get my ramble out.
All right.
It's not going to be... It's not going to be big whatsoever.
I will say this right now. Do I remember much about the Flyers from this past week? No. But have I sent Zach stuff this week about the Flyers? Yes. So I'm getting better.
Yes. So
that's my little rant.
The biggest thing is exactly what you said. Does anybody remember who we played or what any of the scores were? No, because we played Carolina and lost 5-0, and we played Tampa and lost 2-0. So, past 2 games we've been getting shut out. It's the typical Flyers, still in the rebuilding stage. Hopefully, it will be different one day. I don't know. There's nothing much more on that.
Right. There's not much that has happened.
The most that has happened is they actually have fallen in the Metro standings to last.
Yeah, I just saw that. I shouldn't be laughing.
They are now 8 points out of a playoff spot. They are almost to the same degree as the Buffalo Sabres, which is pretty sad that we only have 4 more points than them and we played 3 more games than them. So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6th worst team in the league. Let me look up the Flyers draft lottery. Maybe.
I've probably asked this before, but the draft lottery for NHL, is
Huh?
it similar to the NBA where the bottom 3 teams have the same odds, or does the last
No.
team have the best odds?
So for the first pick, San Jose, who's the worst team, has a 25.5. Chicago second with 13.5. Nationals 11.5. Buffalo's 9.5. Seattle's 8.5, and we're 7.
Okay.
Second round pick, second overall pick was 7.7, and the third pick was 0.1 or 0.2. I don't really know. I definitely think that it would be good just to keep on tanking that and try to get that first pick.
Yeah.
There's no
At
real
that point, they're
reason.
probably just doing that. Both the teams in Philadelphia right now are tanking to try and get a pick. Just one of them's much better at doing it than the other.
Yeah. The chances are 12. The 12th team to get the first pick. There's really nothing there. We got to see Scott Lawton fight, well, not really fight, but wrestle Joe Fairby last night. It's great to see them face off against each other in 2 different teams.
I sent that to you, so I can actually attest to me knowing what it was.
Other than that, there's really nothing at all for the Flyers. Nothing. Hopefully they keep losing. I guess I'll go over some games they have left, or the next couple games. We will probably record early next week. So Thursday, they have Washington. So they're away for the next 5 games.
Oh, that's a long road trip.
Away at Washington, away at Dallas on Saturday, away at Chicago on Sunday, and then this. I think we plan on recording Monday because I have opening week at work. I know you're getting busy at work too. So Tuesday in Toronto to play Scott Lawton. If that is before or after, could they go 1-4 in the next 4 games? Yes. After that, they have Montreal, Buffalo, Nashville, Montreal, Rangers, Islanders, Ottawa, Columbus, Buffalo. I could see them winning. Realistically, I could see them winning like 2 games, 3 games.
That's
if you're counting this road trips. It does what it does at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a rebuild stage. It's
right.
Injuries. Rasmus Westlaine today went day to day. And Garnet Hathaway is also day to day.
All right.
Other than that, nothing.
Yeah. Like I've said, I have nothing for the Flyers.
One more thing. Let's see. Trying to see what a new guy, what he's been doing. Obviously, nothing because
I've
been, no shots, no nothing.
That sucks.
He hasn't even played a game with us yet. So who knows? On to next year, on to the Phillies season, on to anything else but this.
Then not much better, maybe worse. The NBA has launched an investigation into the Sixers regarding Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George missing recent games.
But isn't Maxey actually hurt?
Yeah, and Embiid and Paul George both need surgery.
So what's the investigation on?
Or the reasons why they're missing the games. Like, it just so happens that they're all missing it at the same time.
I think that's just a coincidence.
Yeah, I do agree. Where is it? Aha, that's what I was looking for. In my opinion, teams like the Jazz and the Raptors should be the ones getting investigated. I'm not sure if they are or not. But Emmanuel Quickley, who is a fully healthy 25-year-old on the Raptors, is sitting out every other game for rest.
I would investigate that.
Right. I figured you would agree with me there. On to a brighter note, I guess you can say. We have Quentin Grimes, who is almost winning us games. I was very worried last night that he was going to win us the game after scoring 46 points, which is his career high, actually. Yeah. He is the youngest Sixers player to record a 45.10 rebound game. Last night in Houston, he had 46 points, 13 rebounds, both of those career highs, 4 assists, 2 steals. Joel Embiid is the only other player in franchise history with those numbers in a single game. I was thinking about this earlier. He's basically playing like James Harden was when he won MVP in Houston. But because it's Quentin Grimes, there is no reason why he'd get a single vote. It's because he's not actually winning the games. But he became the first player in history with 45 or more points, 10 or more rebounds, and 5 or more three-pointers in a game. And first player in franchise history with 45 or more points and 8+ three-pointers made in a game. It's pretty freaking impressive.
That is really impressive, actually.
Yeah. Since we recorded, I'll just go to Wednesday, I guess. We lost the Raptors, and then on Friday we lost to the Pacers, both by 12 or more points. And then we beat the Mavericks on Sunday, which I kind of had a feeling would happen because someone like Quentin Grimes trying to have, I guess you can say, payback for trading him, because that's where we got him from. And then yesterday, against the Rockets, let me pull this up so I say the right number. We were winning by quite a lot at one point. Game biggest lead. Our biggest lead of the game was 25 points, and we lost in overtime. The entire game, you have real, right? When you look at the box score, it shows like one team on top, one team below, and it shows the wave of whatever on like who has the more momentum throughout the game. Sixers had it until overtime started, and it went down to the Rockets. The entire game, the Sixers had it until overtime.
How wouldn't you have momentum going in after doing that?
Tomorrow we're playing the Thunder. That's 100% a loss. It's the number one team in the West.
Basically, almost the number one team in the league.
Right. Then we play the Spurs on Friday. That would not surprise me if they win, because the Spurs aren't very healthy right now. And then Sunday we play the Hawks. Again, should be a loss. We actually have a 4-game road trip. We're in the midst of a 6-game road trip. I didn't even realize that. Then Monday, we play the Pelicans. If Zion plays, it should be a loss. If Zion does not play, very, very high likelihood the Sixers actually pull that one off. I don't want them to win any of these games. That's why I sound kind of annoyed. Then we play the Wizards on Wednesday, which...
a lot of crappy teams.
Yeah. In order to fight the tanking accusations, you kind of have to beat the Wizards. That's really the last game I'll get into. We're currently the 13 seed. We have the same record as the 12 seed Nets, 23-45. We are 5.5 games ahead of the 14 seed Hornets. The Nets have beaten us in the season series, I believe, so they have the tiebreaker for a higher seed, which, again, very good for us. But when I go to our lottery chances, the Sixers currently have the 5th worst record, so we'll have the 5th overall pick. Okay. We have a 40% chance at a top 4 pick, 10% chance at the number 1 overall pick.
You said 10%?
Yeah, so pretty good.
Yeah. And what do we have to get to keep a pick?
Bottom 6.
Bottom 6.
Yep, so we're in there right now.
So we just can't pass the net,
Right.
which is good
But
because
the
the six
Raptors
worst
are
team.
also only half a game in front of us.
True.
But besides that, it's the Spurs who are 5.5 games ahead of us. So we have
Imagine,
a good amount of wiggle room, but that 7th overall pick is really, really scary.
imagine being the Thunder right now. Like we could go win a finals and also have a top 7 pick.
Yep.
Which I haven't looked at like this year's NBA draft class.
There's a few names. The one guy plays for Rutgers, I can't remember his name. And we got Cooper
Dylan
Flag.
Harper.
Yeah, that's one of them. Mock draft. Ace Bailey, that's who I was thinking of. I don't know. Once we're actually watching these March Madness games, we'll get a much better feel for.
Also, if you guys have to wait until March Madness is over because Troy Johnson, Tankathon has
Yep.
Troy Johnson. He's
Yep.
not bad. I think this
But
is
we don't
like,
need a young guard. That's the issue.
yeah.
We need the Cooper Flag or the Ace Bailey.
So, what if we traded out? So, say we got a top 5 pick, but someone wanted that pick, so we could go get a
We could
forward.
trade that pick and Paul George for a pretty good forward. Like, say there's a forward out there that, I don't know, requests a trade or something that's making a good chunk of change. Like, for example, this not likely. I believe if like Jaylen Brown were to request a trade, we could technically do that pick and Paul George and trade for Jaylen Brown, like that kind of thing.
Could you? So, if you traded back, that doesn't count towards.
No, that doesn't count.
I know that was probably a stupid question, but
Right. So if it's before the draft, like before the draft lottery and everything, we would be trading the rights to that pick to someone. Like say, no, we can't even do that because trade deadline's over. My bad. We would know what the pick is before we could trade it.
so we would like it's not like you can trade now and somehow we get the 8th pick.
Right. No, that can't happen. We're getting pick 1 through 6 or nothing.
Gotcha. Hopefully one.
Yeah. Do we have any more picks in the first round? We do not. Yeah, we do not. But the Clippers might have 2 picks in the top 20. Not the Clippers, the Thunder. Because of the Clippers trade.
I
I don't
don't get all this basketball stuff.
Yeah. It's confusing.
Very confusing.
But
I feel like this is the first time in a while, and I might be wrong, that the top like bunch of picks are actually college basketball players.
yeah, that's true. The Spurs also might have 2 lottery picks.
How would they have 2 lottery picks?
They had the rights to the Hawks pick this year. I don't know what protections are on it. No, it's an unprotected pick. So, yeah, they have the Hawks pick this year. Hawks are currently the 16 seed. So if they lose 2 games, or not 2 games, if they lose 2 spots, damn. That's scary. Sixers, we just have those 2 picks, the first and the second rounder. And we will be getting another second round pick this year from the Nuggets. No, it's not even the better one. We will be getting the better of the Denver or our own second round pick.
Gotcha.
I don't know, these are confusing. You want to know anyone else's picks for the year?
Only the Sixers.
I've never actually been on this website before and it actually shows like everything. So this is pretty cool. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Not really. Like we said before, it's kind of a slow week here in Philly sports.
Yeah. But you can look forward to in the next week or two we'll be putting out all of our predictions for opening day and season awards and all that.
And we're gonna. I at least want to put most of them on Twitter.
Okay.
Go follow, like, subscribe, all of our socials. TikTok,
Yep.
we got
Always
TikTok,
in the
we got
description.
Instagram, we got Twitter. Obviously, here on YouTube, we've got everything.
All right.
So,
You want to call it?
let's call it there.
All right. We will see you guys next week. Peace.